Disney Springs is the premier place for dining at Walt Disney World. Sure, you have the 4 theme parks, 2 water parks, and over 25 hotels, but some of the best food at the resort can be found right here in Disney Springs. But I'll be the first to admit, dining at Springs can be overwhelming because there are just so many amazing options to choose from. So today, I'm breaking it down and sharing the top 5 restaurants at Disney Springs. I am at Disney Springs all the time, whether it's to check out all of the new food offerings or visit some old favorites. There is such a great collection of restaurants, and unlike some other Disney restaurants, every place here is constantly changing their menus with the seasons, offering new exciting dining options, and just keeping things fresh, you know? It's one of the things I love about Disney Springs dining. You really can pretty much stumble into any restaurant and have a great meal here, but after years of research, I want to share my top 5 spots to dine with you. Before we get started, I want to hear from you guys. Let me know down below in the comments what your favorite restaurant at Disney Springs is, and who knows, it just might be on this list. Now, the restaurants on this list can be interchangeable at times because I truly love them all, but this is just the order I was feeling today. And without further ado, let's start with number 5, Jaleo. Jaleo is a Spanish tapas-style restaurant by award-winning chef Jose Andres. And not only is it in my number 5 spot, I also think it wins the title for the most underrated restaurant at Springs. You rarely hear people talk about Jaleo, and I honestly don't know how because it is so good. There are also Jaleo locations in Washington, D.C., Chicago, Vegas, and Dubai, but here in Springs you'll find the biggest of all the restaurants. Andres is from Spain and focuses on bringing authentic Spanish flavors to Orlando. The restaurant is beautiful inside and features an amazing outdoor patio as well. But let's get to some of the food because that's what you're here for, right? Like I mentioned, this menu is mainly tapas and also paella. And I love that they offer a tasting menu. For $100 or $150 for the premium experience, you'll be served a wide array of tapas. My first time ever dining here, I did the $100 tasting menu, and that is what started my love for this restaurant. This menu allows you to try so many different things and really allows you to step outside your comfort zone when it comes to food. Before this, I had never really had traditional Spanish food, so I wasn't sure what I would like. This turned out to be the perfect order because I didn't have to make any tough decisions, and I was kind of just brought everything. And let me tell you, it is a ton of food for only $100. My sister and I left absolutely stuffed. And while I highly recommend this tasting menu, the a la carte menu is great as well. Some standouts for me are the goat cheese stuffed endives, the jamon, which is aged and carved right in front of you, the apple and fennel salad with manchego cheese and walnuts, and of course, the garlic shrimp. You also cannot skip dessert here. Trust me when I tell you they are all amazing. The flan is the best I've ever had. The Basque goat cheesecake is so unique. They have sorbet flavors that rotate daily, so always make sure you ask what it is. But my favorite dessert here, and one you cannot skip, has to be the pan con chocolate. This is a chocolate custard with caramelized bread, olive oil, and brioche ice cream. I don't know about you, but I've never heard of brioche ice cream before dining here, but I'll tell you, it is honestly the perfect combo with the chocolate. If you're doing the tasting menu, you can add a wine pairing for only $49, another fantastic value. But if you're in the mood for a cocktail, their espresso martini is one of the best at Disney Springs, and the salt air margarita that's topped with a salt foam is another go-to. If you haven't checked it out yet, definitely add Jaleo to your list. I know I'm personally looking to head back very soon because they have a weekend brunch with $28 bottomless mimosas that I haven't tried yet. That brings us to number 4 on the list, Morimoto Asia. This is a restaurant I have recently just discovered, and let me tell you, I haven't been able to get the spare ribs off my mind since I had them. But let's back up. You probably recognize the name Morimoto, and that's because the chef behind this restaurant is Iron Chef Morimoto. He is known for his seamless integration of Western and Japanese ingredients. Come in expecting to spend a pretty penny, but it's worth it. But if you're looking to dine here for a bit less, check out their lunch menu. They run some great deals. But this is a great place to come if you're looking to splurge. The interior of the restaurant is quite impressive, as is the open kitchen where you can watch the chefs make everything from scratch, including the famous Peking duck, which I am yet to try, but one of these days I'll find someone to take down the whole $79 duck with me. Other than the Peking duck, you can expect an array of dim sum, seafood, noodles, and some incredible sushi. In terms of quality, this is without a doubt the best place for sushi at Disney World. The fish is incredibly fresh and the sashimi is phenomenal. But what's even more impressive are the maki rolls. I didn't know something as simple as a California roll could be this good. Where I usually don't order a California roll because I'm not a big fan of imitation crab meat, here at Morimoto they are using fresh blue crab meat to pair with the cucumber and avocado. The crab was buttery and almost creamy. It is probably my all-time favorite California roll. I also suggest starting your meal with a bowl of miso soup. It's so rich, I could honestly just have a giant bowl of this and be happy. You also can't go wrong with any of the ramen here. I've tried both the duck ramen and the specialty beef birria ramen, and both are great. I love the noodles they're using in there. They also have Buribop on the menu, which is the dish that won Morimoto the Iron Chef title, so it's really cool that you're able to get that here, and it has a great tableside presentation. I mentioned the ribs in the beginning, so let's get back to them. The Morimoto spare ribs. They're honestly one of the best bites in all of Disney World. I had heard people talk about them for years, but always kind of just thought, how good can they really be? Well, let's just say I was blown away my first time trying them. They are crunchy on the outside and coated in a hoisin sweet chili glaze. Once you bite in, the meat is so unbelievably tender, it literally just falls right off the bone. Unreal. All right, I'm getting hungry. Let's move on to number 3, Chef Art Smith's Homecomin. This restaurant is American comfort food done right. Make sure you arrive hungry because I can guarantee whatever you order, the portion size, it's gonna fill you up. Chef Art was famously Oprah Winfrey's personal chef, and he actually grew up in Florida, so he tries to incorporate local flavors into all of his dishes. This is definitely one of the more popular spots to dine in Disney Springs, as word has gotten out about how good the fried chicken is. So don't get discouraged when you can't find a reservation. They save a lot of tables for walk-up dining, and there are plenty of seats at the bar, which is what I usually opt for. This is a restaurant that everyone will for sure find something they enjoy, starting with moonshine. There are a ton of different moonshine concoctions that are very popular, so much so that there's a walk-up bar outside dishing them out. You'll probably see a bunch of people walking around Springs with refillable squeeze bottles. Yep, this is where they got them from, and they're filled with moonshine. If you're in it for the classics, go for that. But I personally really enjoy the Florida Crush, which is made with fresh squeezed Florida orange juice, the white peach sangria, or the espresso martini. While everything on the menu is very good, I feel like if you're visiting Homecomin, especially if it's your first time, you have to get something with fried chicken. It's what Chef Art is known for, and you won't be disappointed. They're serving up fried chicken in many different ways. On biscuits as an appetizer, on a sandwich, on a platter with donuts, or my favorite way, on the fried chicken salad. The seasoning in the batter is on point, and there's no doubt it's got a great crunch. Now, if you're having fried chicken and all these Southern classics, you of course must have amazing sides to serve with it, and that's where the mac and cheese comes in. I would say this is probably the most beloved mac and cheese on property, and I will say, it's great. It's baked, so it's got a really nice outer crust, but the inside remains super creamy, and those cavatappi noodles just get filled up with all that cheese sauce. You have to get a side of this, and I recommend everyone at the table get your own because you won't want to share. Another massive highlight of Homecomin is their weekend Rise and Shine brunch. The menu is filled with mostly savory dishes, which is perfect for me because I prefer a savory breakfast. It's without a doubt one of the best places to grab brunch. The perfect way to start your day if you ask me. This next one may surprise you, but my number 2 restaurant at Disney Springs is Wine Bar George. You hear a restaurant named Wine Bar George and you're probably thinking, oh, they've just got wine, let's skip it. Well, that's where you'd be wrong. Kind of. They've got wine, but this restaurant is so much more than that. The food and other cocktails are just as good as the wine selection. This restaurant is led by none other than Master Sommelier George Miliotes, and you can almost always catch him at the restaurant. So Wine Bar George obviously has gotta have a killer wine selection. In fact, they have over 200 wines available by the bottle, glass, or ounce. This impressive list has landed them the 2024 award for Best Wine List in North America and Best Wine by the Glass List in North America as well. All that wine may sound daunting, but your server is very well versed in wine knowledge and can help you pick out a glass you'd like. They also do a wine tasting meal here with George himself that I'm dying to do, but that's a story for another day. And before I get into this espresso martini, let me just say I recommend this restaurant more for adults. While kids are of course welcome to dine here, I would say the vibe and menu is definitely more adult-centered. Okay, espresso martinis. As you may know, I am a huge fan. I have tried just about every one on property, and not only is this the best on property, it is the best I've ever had. These espresso martinis, or as they're known here, the wake-up call, are crafted to perfection. They actually use pisco, which is a type of brandy, and drip it through espresso to create a flavorful and extremely strong beverage. And let's just take a moment to appreciate that thick foam on top. Yeah, this is a must order. I promise there is so much more to this restaurant than just the drinks, though. The food menu is made up of mostly small plates, and I recommend going with a group so you can kind of get a bunch to share. I can tell you I've had every small plate and they're all great. I especially love the meatballs, saganaki on fire, and the crispy mac and cheese bites. These deserve a moment of their own because this is my favorite thing to eat on all of Disney property. And I know I've been mentioning a lot of favorites in this video, but this is the best of them all. The mac and cheese inside almost has a peppery spice to it, and they don't dry out when they're fried. They're served atop a tomato sauce, which may sound odd to eat mac and cheese with tomato sauce, but once you try a bite altogether, you'll understand. If you're in the mood for some charcuterie with your wine though, you won't want to miss the charcuterie board here. It is loaded with the perfect pairings and is another thing that's great for sharing. I love grabbing a table out on the balcony up top, enjoying a drink, a bite to eat, and from there you can see my #1 restaurant, the Boathouse. No trip to Disney World is complete without a stop at the Boathouse. It's a must-dine for not only myself, but my whole family and many of my friends as well. Just walking in, you'll be impressed by the seafood selection and the decor. If you're lucky enough, you'll get a chance to dine in the coveted boat. It's only ever happened to me once, and let me tell you, it was a glorious time. If you walk a little further through the restaurant, you'll be even more impressed by the outdoor seating area. There are plenty of tables out on the dock with an amazing view of all of Disney Springs. And you'll also see my favorite place to enjoy a meal at the Boathouse, the Dockside Bar. There are few things better than grabbing a drink at that bar on a nice evening. And while you're sitting out there, you can watch the amphicars driving by. If you want to hop in one for a ride, you do get a discount from dining there. Can confirm. It's a little scary at first, but after the initial entrance into the water, it's fine. But back to the Boathouse. Your meal will start with the most amazing dinner rolls. They are soft, a little sweet, and topped with honey butter. These are amazing as is, but if you want to take them one step up, pro tip, ask for a side of cinnamon butter. I could legit house an entire plate of these rolls. I always have to cut myself off. This is another restaurant where everyone is bound to find something they like. If you want, you can splurge a little on a fancy meal, or you could keep it simple with a salad, a burger, or a sandwich, all of which are great. I personally, however, always go for some of the fresh seafood. The oysters are my favorite, and they always have a few different ones to choose from. If you're a shrimp person, you will be wowed by the size of the Wild Sea of Cortez shrimp. They've got pretty much any seafood you can imagine, including another go-to of mine, the yellowfin tuna poke. It's served on top of avocado and finished with a soy lime vinaigrette that I could drink, but if you're in the mood for a steak, they're also known for their Gibson steaks. If you are going with a steak, I highly suggest the filet mignon sliders. They're what this restaurant is known for. The filet is so tender, buttery, and garlic, and remember those rolls? Yeah, that's what they're served on. Now I can't talk about the Boathouse and not mention that they have the absolute best weekend brunch, complete with dueling pianos. It is seriously so much fun, and the food is nothing short of amazing. The steak and eggs, the new chorizo breakfast tacos, the Biscoff cookie butter waffles, yeah, you can't go wrong. But once again, the star of the show, the rolls, which are now topped with a cinnamon frosting. If you thought they were good during lunch and dinner, just wait until you try the brunch rolls. I'm telling you, they will change your life. But let's talk reservations, because this is another spot that may be difficult to find one for because it is so popular. The restaurant is huge, so there are a ton of tables, and they do again accept walk-ups if you can't find a reservation on the My Disney Experience app. But a lot of people don't know that you can also get reservations here on the Open Table website. Usually you can find something there. If not, worst case, I always have luck at one of the bars. There are 3 separate bars here, and I've pretty much never not found a seat. Well, that's it. Those are my top 5 restaurants at Disney Springs. But before I go, I wanted to list some honorable mentions that aren't necessarily table service restaurants, but are still dishing up some great food. Starting with the one that I'm sure a lot of you guys have already commented is your favorite, the Polite Pig. Here they are serving up the best barbecue at Disney World. The line to get in may be long, but it will move fast, and it'll be worth the wait for some amazing barbecue and even better mac and cheese. They always have new monthly specials that I love checking out, and in terms of quick service, this is a top spot. Another honorable mention goes out to Jock Lindsay's Hangar Bar. This Indiana Jones themed lounge just switched up their menu and is now offering a very impressive spread that cemented its spot as an honorable mention. Despite being just a walk-up only bar, they are serving some amazing food with beautiful presentation. Get the cheesy volcano temple dip with the caramelized onions and the charcuterie pretzel, and thank me later. I want to thank all of my Patreon subscribers for supporting my channel and all of you guys for watching this new style of video from me. Don't worry, I'll be back to the usual Disney food vlogs soon, but let me know your thoughts on this style of video. And if you don't already and you enjoy honest Disney food reviews, hit that subscribe button and I shall see you guys next time. Bye!